Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to cleaning your 2024 Evo. There's going to come a time when you have been airbrushing and you're doing your general cleaning where you're blasting through, and then you put your brush, you'll blast through with your cleaner and put your brush in your holder and just keep using it like that. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But after a while you will get a build-up in places where you don't think you're getting a build-up, but you will do. And then all of a sudden your brush will be a little bit not as smooth, or the needle might be feeling a bit gritty when you're pulling it back, because you will get paint still just in certain places on the needle that just build up over time. So I wanted to do like a strip down for you and a deep clean. And you don't have to strip the brushes after every airbrush session. If you give it, I'd say, a deep clean every month, end of every month, just go over your brush, give it a clean, put it back together. So that's what we're going to do today, a nice simple cleaning session on the Evo. Bring the camera right up close, show you the cleaning products we're going to be using. Simple, easy, cheap ones to get as well, guys. And we'll keep your Evo in tip-top condition. Right guys, there's your Evo. So you've been using it for some time, you want to give it a nice clean up. Now, first thing I'd do, we'll strip it from the back. So undo your back piece here on the brush, like that, move that to one side. Then you've got your chuck piece at the back, that piece there. So undo that and then slide your needle out. Now I used this yesterday, the brush. I'll just hold that up to some white and you can see that there is dirt on that needle. So the needle is dirty, you will get that build up. I mean, that was cleaned through yesterday, just a blast through with cleaner, and there's still dirt on that needle. So it does need a clean, and you will get this build up with the brushes when you're using them day in, day out. So put your needle to one side. You can take your cup off, that just unscrews, like that. Move that to one side, undo the front end, and that releases, that's where your floating nozzle is, that can slide out. You've got your prong cap, you can take the prong cap off the front end like that. So you're left with that. You've got your nozzle, you've got your prong cap, and you've got your air cap. To take the trigger out, pull back and pinch, just slide your trigger out like that, and then you can release that. Now this piece does unscrew, you can take that piece out like that. So you've got the body, the cup, trigger, the rear back piece, and there's your breakdown of your H&S Evo. So first thing we're going to clean, we'll move all these pieces out of the way, we'll go for the needle. Piece of kitchen towel, no bigger than that. So your needle is like, that's how much kitchen towel you need to clean the needle, not a lot. Now I usually use thinners because I've got a lot of it to hand. Now you can use your airbrush cleaners. So drop a little bit of your cleaner on a bit of kitchen towel, place your needle and pinch, and as you're pinching, just twist the needle and pull back like that. And just pull through. Excuse the noise of the pigeons, they always are out making noise in the mornings. And just pull through a few times, and that's the dirt that's left on the needle, and that was from yesterday after using the brush and giving it a clean through, blasting through. You will get this build up on the needle, and eventually that will get more and more and more. Even though you're blasting through each day, you'll get that build up. So that's your needle clean. You're good to go with that, you can put that to one side. Now when it comes to the body here, the best things to clean on this if you've got a bit of cleaner left on your kitchen towel, just wipe your body down, because sometimes you'll get a bit of paint here where it's splashed on the body. Wipe the body down like that. So now you know that's all clean and good. Then get yourself some cotton buds, Q-tips. Drop a little bit of cleaner on the end of the cotton bud and push your cotton bud down here and just give it a little twist and a clean. You can see the dirt that's come off that. It's just a little white round in there, and where that washer is there, that's solvent proof, that white washer there, you can give that a white round there and round them threads. That's where your cup screws into. So a clean there, and then I always get another bit of cleaner on the opposite side of the cotton bud. Go in the front of the brush here and do the same again. Just push it up as far as it will go and just white round them threads, and you'll get a little bit of dirt like that. Just give that a little white round in there. Then you can get these little dentist brushes that's got a little pipe cleaner on. You can get that and just push that up, and that will go inside the body in here when you push it through like that. That'll just clean any dirt that's where your needle goes through when you push your needle in and your needle comes out the front. That'll just clean any dirt that is sitting between that bit where the paint goes in here and comes out the front of your brush. So that's the front of your brush all clean. Job done. You've wiped it down, cleaned inside there, and you've given it a clean just down in there, just to clean any leftover paint if there is any down in this piece. So that's good to go. When it comes to your trigger, again, you can have a little bit of cleaner on, and you can just wipe your trigger down, wipe the little ball bit at the bottom, give that a clean. The gold part of the trigger, give that a wipe. Any leftover paint, if there's any on there, because you will get some on tops of the triggers as well when you've been mixing and you're putting your finger back on your trigger, just give the grooves on there a wipe. So they're all nice and clean. That's good to go. Your cup, wipe over, bit of cleaner, push your little finger in the cup and just twist like that, clean any paint off the exterior. That's good to go. Your back piece here, you shouldn't really get any dirt on this. When you take this out, you'll have your spring, and that's the bar that goes through. So that goes through like that with the spring on, pushes through, and then you would put your chuck piece at the back, or the screw that holds the needle in place, that goes on the back like that, and that bar moves. So when you move your trigger back, that's what that's doing inside the brush, is that. This would stay clean, but if you've got any dirt anywhere, just give it a little wipe over. Like that, simple. Just a little wipe over on that piece. When it comes to your prong cap, that piece there, you can get a build up on these. If you've been painting and you've been blasting like full trigger quite a lot, and you're blasting quite a bit of paint out, you can get a build up on the inside, either side of that prong cap. And if that builds up over time, that can affect the spray pattern when you're going full trigger and blasting through. So, little bit of cleaner on a cotton bud. Place the cotton bud like that, and I usually just twist like that. Just give that a little wipe. You can see the dirt coming off on that, look. So that has got paint build up on it, see it? Just give it a little twist in between the prongs. Like that. Spin it round and give it a clean that way as well. Just clean round in that piece there. Like that. So that's your prong cap clean. Your air cap, you'll get a build up on the tip here, on the very front. It's just a little bit of cleaner and just wipe that. See the dirt that's come off that? You will get a build up. Now if you don't clean that, that can affect your spray as well, because if you get a build up of that, that's usually caused by a lot of tip dry build up. Just over time painting. This can affect your spray pattern as well. So keeping that hole there nice and clean. You don't need to go poking things down that hole. Just a little dip in some cleaner and a wipe through, like that. Should be more than good enough to clean that. On here, on the opposite side, you can put a cotton bud in and give it a little twist and just clean inside there. You've got a rubber O-ring that sits around this. Don't put any aggressive solvents on that, because they will shrink. If you've got aggressive solvents, that's rubber. It's just going to swell up and then shrink, swell up and shrink, and then they go brittle. So don't soak this in cleaners. Just literally all you've got to do is just wipe that. Clean any paint off that little hole there like that, and that's good to go. That's clean. When it comes to your nozzle, which is that piece, that's the bit that sits inside that at the front. I'll just show you. That bit sits in there like that. And then you would screw that back into the body. That piece, when you slide that out, you can get paint build up in these. This is where I'd get one of the little cotton bud cleaners, one of the dental sticks, lightly push it in. You've not got to ram it all the way forward, just little twist, and when you pull out of here, you will see, you can see the dirt left on there, that's paint. So a few little twists like that with a little bit of cleaner on. I usually just put a little bit of cleaner on the edge of that, push that in there, twist a few times, give it a wipe through like that. A little twist round. And then to double check this, I'll blow down the end of it and then hold that up to the light and look down this piece here, and you'll see the light coming through the opposite end coming down. You'll see straight through looking down that bit if you hold it up to the light, and then you'll see that it's nice and clean. So that's your nozzle clean. So that's your brush. That's a full strip down and a maintenance. Now putting it back together, places where you can put a little bit of lubrication to keep it running nice. On your back piece, just here, where this slides into here, like that, you can get some of the lubrication. Just undo that piece there. Slide that forward, like that. You can drop a little bit on here, like that, and just smear a bit round there. Doesn't matter if it goes onto the spring, like that. Drop that back in there. And that will just keep that running nice and silky smooth. With a little bit of lubrication around there is not going to hurt. On the trigger, what you've got to think of is you've got moving parts, so that moves. When you're moving back, this is doing this. So a little bit of lubrication there. You can get a cotton bud and just wipe that off. If you can put too much on, turn it round, and then a little bit on that bit there. So when that moves, it's nice and smooth. Any excess, just wipe it off, because you don't need loads on there, you only need a little bit on there. And that'll just keep that trigger movement there nice and smooth. So they're the places I'd put lubrication on it, building it back together. Get your body. You can put the front piece on first. So your floating nozzle and your air cap, slide that in there, like that, and then put that to the front of the brush and just nip that up. You've not got to over tighten these, you just nip this till it stops. You haven't got to wrench it up, just literally turn it with your fingers until it stops. That's done. Drop the cup on, like that, turn that on. Get your back body, just screw that and nip that up, like that. To put your trigger in, you just pinch here, pull back, get your trigger, drop your trigger in, like that. And that's your trigger in. That just sort of jumps into place. Show that again. Pull back, take the trigger out, slide the trigger in, and then that just drops into place like that. So that's your trigger in, and that's running really smooth now. You can see what I mean by that bar. When you move back, that gold bar rocks up and down that centerpiece. So dropping a little bit of lubrication either side of that is going to help. It's going to make it feel nice and smooth when you're pulling back. When your trigger goes back, that bar there moves in and out. So a little bit of lubrication on that. It's a moving part. So that little bit of lubrication between there and there will help it. Get your needle. Good thing about these brushes is, unlike the old ones, you've got a self-locating chuck at the back. So you're not going to damage your needle placing it in, because it just guides and glides in. Bring that to the front and you'll see the needle, the tip just pops out the front. Now you don't need to force these needles in, you don't need to put loads of pressure on when you're bringing them forward. You just bring it to the front. I usually always put a finger on the back to stop it moving and then tighten the chuck up like that. And that's your needle in, sorted. Back body, slide that on, nip that up, and then put your prong cap on the front like that. And that's your Evo, deep cleaned, stripped, maintained, put back together. The next thing I would do is hook it up to an airline. Like that. Get some water and do a quick back bubble. If you want to back bubble the Evo, pinch over the front like that, so you're either side of the prong cap, and then bubble up like that. Bubble up a few seconds and then blast that through, and your brush will be absolutely mint clean. There you go. You've not got to make things complicated, guys. H&S don't make your life complicated, they make it nice and simple, and that's why I pick these brushes up, because you've got trouble-free airbrushing for years. You really have. Now, simple cleaning products, it was kitchen towel, 2 little sheets of kitchen towel, that's all you need. You don't need microfiber cloths and a bowl to soak your brush in or ultrasonic cleaner. 2 bits of kitchen towel, 2 cotton buds, and a little dental pipe cleaner, cleaning tool. Some airbrush cleaner and some water. A little bit of lubrication to drop either side of your trigger. That keeps it nice and silky smooth on that movement going back. And then that little bit on that bar in there just keeps that little bit nice and silky as you're moving back. That's it, that's all you need. And you've seen how that brush stripped down, how the trigger goes back in. It's simple. When you take the nozzle out, you just slide the nozzle out. You've not got to muck around with a little spanner, or you've not got to try and hold the back bit and then wiggle a trigger that's got a pin that does this, and you've got to try and find that little hole and push it in, or you've got a trigger that's got a little bar at the back that catches it there that is not attached, so you've got to put the back piece in, hold that bar. Airbrushes like that for me, they're just annoying. They really are annoying. Yes, they may be top-end quality airbrushes, but I just think the designs that H&S do, they make it simple for the user to get on with. And that's why I pick them up. That's why I'll open the cupboard, pick one of them brushes up and just paint with it, because they're just hassle-free. They really are hassle-free. So I hope you've picked up some tips along the way. If you do that sort of maintenance on your Evo, say end of every month or 2 months, do that sort of strip down like that and just clean them little parts, put it back together, you're gonna have no issues. You don't have to do that sort of strip down after every airbrush session. You really don't with these brushes, because they're that well made. You won't feel any grindy problems or anything like that. You'll just, all I would say do is at the end of every airbrush session, when you've blasted through and cleaned it, take your needle out and wipe your needle down, and then put your needle back after you've cleaned it, after your airbrush session like that, and just put your needle back in like that. And then you know that the needle is clean, because yesterday I used this, and when we took it apart and I cleaned the needle, there was a little bit of dried up paint on the needle, and I had blasted through with cleaner. After I'd finished yesterday's group picture, I just blasted it through and put the brush on the in the hanger like that, and there was that little bit of dried up paint. So if you're not taking the needle out after every session, you will get a little bit of build up. So just sliding your needle out at the end of the session and cleaning that, and putting it back, you're going to have no issues. But every month, just treat it to a little clean. Why not? It'll last. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll leave a link in the description to the Evo. I'll leave a link in the description to some cleaning products that might help you along the way. And just enjoy your journey, guys, with H&S. I have. Just enjoy it. So I'll see you lot in the next one. Cheers.